The world's Orthodox churches were on the verge of forging their most united front in more than 1,000 years to speak with a more unified voice over the modern challenges facing them in what's known as the Holy and Great Council. But 5 of the 14 churches have already pulled out. Here with me is the chairman of the Department of External Church Relations and a permanent member of the Holy Synod of Moscow Patriarchate, Hilarion. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
What are the major disagreements between the churches, between the Orthodox churches, and why haven't they been settled yet? The summit was announced 2 years ago, and the idea itself has been on the table for 55 years. What happened?
There are many problems among various Orthodox churches. For example, the Antiochian Church broke communion with the Church of Jerusalem over the question of the jurisdiction over Qatar and generally over the Arabian Peninsula. Then there are some other problems, for example, between the Serbian and the Romanian churches. There is the problem of the place of the Georgian church in the official order of the churches. They claim the 6th place, and we support this claim, while in Constantinople they occupy the 9th place. It might seem a small disagreement, but for historical churches these are important issues. And especially the issue of the breach of communion between Antioch and Jerusalem. What does it mean for the Church of Antioch? They explained this in their statement, in the statement of their Holy Synod. They say, if we are going to have a pan-Orthodox council, how is it possible for it not to begin with the Holy Eucharist celebrated by all the churches? But they cannot concelebrate with the Church of Jerusalem because of this conflict. For many months they appealed to the churches, and especially to the Church of Constantinople, asking to solve this problem. But they received, just a few days ago, they received a note from Constantinople saying that the commission to study this problem will be set after the Holy and Great Council. And they said, well, this is not what we wanted to see. So they said, we will not participate. The Church of Bulgaria decided not to participate for their own reasons, and they also explained these reasons. Then the Church of Georgia decided not to participate. And then the Church of Serbia said that the council should be postponed. They didn't say we will not participate, but they said the council should be postponed. So there are already 4 churches which call for the council to be postponed because of various issues on the agenda of the churches. We have participated in the preconciliary process from the very beginning, from 1961, when this process began. And we always said that all the decisions of the council should be based on the consensus. And the consensus means that all the recognized Orthodox churches, and there are 14 of them, should be participating in the council and should agree with their decisions.
We don't see it happening
We
now.
don't see it happening.
Will we ever see it happen?
Yes, we hope to see it happen. And until a few days ago, there was a chance to have it happen. But it is not happening because one church after another declared that they will not participate, which means there will be no consensus, which means it is no longer a pan-Orthodox council. And we believe that the only way to exit from this difficult situation is to postpone the council.
Are the churches interested at all in having this council? Or this is the case when the journey is more important than the destination?
No, I think all the churches are interested in the council, and we exhibited our interest from the very beginning until the very end. Well, it is not the end of the process, of course, but even now we say that we are ready to participate in the council, but we are ready to participate in a pan-Orthodox council. We are not ready to discuss various questions in the absence of several churches.
Do the disagreements within the Orthodox churches reflect the political divisions which are prevalent around the world?
Well, I do not see any direct link between various political issues and the divisions among the churches. For example, the issue of Antioch versus Jerusalem, it's a purely ecclesiastical issue. But we must understand that the political factors sometimes interfere and they influence the decisions. The problem for us, however, is not the political factors, but the ecclesial factors. And as I said, we have always insisted that the council should be a moment where the churches express their unity. If it so happens that there is disunity, the problems should be solved before the council, not during the council and not after the council. And especially, as I said, the issue of the absence of certain churches. We cannot discuss the questions on the agenda if several churches are absent.
We live in a time when religious extremism is rising, and now we see the lack of unity within the Orthodox Church, which could be helping in resolving this issue, this global threat.
Well, I do not see the current situation as any catastrophic. I believe that it is one of the stages of the working process of the preparation to the Pan-Orthodox Council. It is not our fault that this preparation was not as smooth as we wanted it to be. And we do not believe that the council should, the whole idea of the council should be abandoned. We simply believe that it should be better prepared. And we always say that we must very seriously take the process of preparation. For example, if a particular Orthodox church raises a question, it cannot be ignored. If there are some amendments proposed, they should be taken seriously.
It may sound like you are criticizing the Istanbul-based patriarchate, Constantinople patriarchate. Is that true?
I am not criticizing the Patriarchate of Constantinople or any other patriarchate. I think every church, every local Orthodox church has reasons for their positions.
But their voices are not heard.
Yes, the issue is how the whole process is being moderated. And here I see certain problems, because during preparatory process, we many times experienced a situation when we believed that our voices were not properly heard, that the issues which were raised by the churches were not properly addressed. And the situation which we are facing now is the result of this process. So I think we must learn our lesson. We must look at our mistakes, and we must correct these mistakes. And again, I would say there is nothing catastrophic in the situation which has arisen because of these issues. We simply need more patience, we need more work, and I believe this work could be done.
Terrorism is the #1 threat in today's world. Why do you think the nations, why do churches find it so hard to get united and fight against it?
Unity is not something which can be imposed on the churches. For example, when we discussed today the question of whether or not to participate in the council, our decision was unanimous. There were no disagreement. And we believe that it was a conciliatory decision. Conciliarity is one of the essential marks of the church. But as I say, conciliarity cannot be simply imposed by any kind of administrative decision. We should all grow into this conciliarity. And in order for it to be achieved in reality, not simply in theory, we need to listen to each other. And the fact that several churches finally decided not to take part in the council means that their voices at the preparatory process were not properly heard.
What if the council still takes place without these churches?
Then we'll have to call the members of the Holy Synod again to take other decisions.
What would it mean for the outside world?
Well, let's hope that the position of several churches, which was expressed very clearly that the council should be postponed, let's hope that it will be heard and that indeed it will be postponed.
What is the deadline for their reaction?
Well, I think the deadline is already over, but we still have a few days before the scheduled date. So let's hope that some positive developments will take place during these days.
Is Russia planning any alternative council or?
No, we are not planning any alternative council.
So if the council takes place without the churches that already pulled out?
In the unfortunate event that the council still takes place, it is not going for us to be a pan-Orthodox council. We will probably question the legitimacy of the decisions which will be taken in the absence of several churches. And I believe that such council will be a factor of disunity rather than of unity.
Will there be another split within the Christian world?
Let's not go so far. I think if something like that happens, we'll have to have another session of the Holy Synod and discuss the situation.
It's not easy, it's very complicated, case. But just a little bit about relations with Catholics. Does that mean that you're going to get closer ties with the Catholics after Patriarch met the Pope in February?
These are not interrelated issues. These are two separate issues. The relations of our church with the Catholic Church is they certainly received a new impetus after the meeting between Pope Francis and Patriarch Kirill. And we believe that this cooperation will continue in the future. But I would like to say that for several decades now, we have bilateral relations with the Roman Catholic Church, and though at times we experience certain difficulties, generally I would say that these relations are developing in a very positive direction. There is one difficult issue which continues to be a stumbling block in our relations. That's the issue of Unionism. Unionism was a special project of the Roman Catholic Church in the Middle Ages, in the epoch of Renaissance, and the idea was to bring the Orthodox people to the Catholic Church by allowing them to keep their Orthodox liturgical rite, but by insisting that they should accept all Catholic dogmas, including the dogma of the primacy of the Pope, and from the 19th century on, the dogma on the infallibility of the Pope. And we believe that Unionism was a mistake of the past. And I am glad that Pope Francis, in the common statement with Patriarch Kirill, recognized this. Unionism, however, continues to be a stumbling block because, for example, the unions in the Ukraine, they constantly advocate a more aggressive approach to the Orthodox Church. They strongly criticized the joint statement of Pope Francis and Patriarch Kirill, and they continue to be very aggressive towards the Orthodox Church.